Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are literally in Norway at the moment. We're in beautiful Oslo. We're in the city centre and we were hiring a car. What better to do than hire a Scandinavian car today? We're in a Volvo XC60 T8 Hybrid all-wheel drive. That is a real mouthful. Why? Because when I was hiring the car, I actually had a Lexus and it was pleasant, but I needed something a little larger. And then this pulled up next to me and I thought, wow, this looks fantastic. And I've not been able to say that about a Volvo for as long as I can remember. And then I saw the T8 badge and I started asking questions. I didn't really know too much about it. So I thought we'd learn. And I've been driving this now for a couple of days. And I have nothing to say bad about it. I really don't. I've got the roof down, but it's a beautiful summer's day in Europe at the moment. I've got the roof closed. It's like a nice little fly netting. It's a huge panoramic sunroof. If you can hear anything in the background, or if you hear a few little moans and groans, it's because Faith, my daughter, is in the background. She's been eating raisins, she's been eating dried apples, so and she's got little baby bum on or something in the back there. So if you hear anything, bear with us. But let's take this for a drive and describe how we're feeling. This car is a dual hybrid engine. So what that means, it's got a 2-litre petrol engine, which is pretty damn powerful in itself. And then it also has an i4 electric engine that it uses as the hybrid zone. Depending on which mode you're in here will depend on how it uses that engine, whether it uses it just to boost, whether it uses it purely. Around the town, I've noticed that I can use the pure hybrid or the pure electric side of the engine to great success. It's not got the longest distance, but with it being a hybrid and the new technology, it's able to charge itself, so you don't need to plug it in. If it's a little bit bumpy here, it's because we're on cobblestone Oslo streets. You don't have to charge it, it can charge itself, which is a really nice piece. So if you're on a freeway, for instance, and you're using the petrol engine, it will charge the electric side of the vehicle, so that when you get into the city centre, in fact, let's try this right now. Pure eco drive. I mean, there we are. I mean, it's silent as anything. I'm driving up a hill. Apart from the rumbling on the floor, because of the cobblestone, it just feels very silent. I don't have much range left, as I said, but I've just been using it a little bit. The hybrid's very good around the city. It uses the electric mode where possible and when charged, to fill in little gaps when you're accelerating fast, or if you are experiencing a bit of turbo lag. Now, forgive my extra concentration today while I'm driving, because I'm driving on the wrong side of the road. And I keep having to tell myself, right side of the road, right side of the road. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Now, funnily enough, in front of me right now is this Volvo XC60 T8. And it looks lovely. It really does. Ours has had a bit of a bashing over the last couple of days. It's we've done some kilometers on it. We've been up and down through the Norwegian mountains, which has been fantastic. I have got my little daughter in the car, so I've not been able to go too hard in it. So I've left it in hybrid mode most of the time. But when I went for a little drive last night, I flicked it into something called power. And underneath it says sporty driving, and I'm not sure if that's a Norwegian classification or we would have it in Australia in the same phrase, but it gives you a significant amount more power. It stiffens the ride slightly, not too much, not crazily like some of the competitors, but it feels nice. Now, as I'm driving around here, I jumped into this at the airport on roads that I was unfamiliar with, in a car that I'm unfamiliar with. I haven't driven a Volvo in probably 7 or 8 years, so pre-tech, I haven't driven a Volvo for. I sat behind this wheel. Firstly, the LED screen in front of me is pleasant, is nice. We've got an LED screen in the middle here, which is touch screen. It's really effective. It's got one actual button, and that's a back button. Think of on the middle of your Google phone or your iPhone or something like that, where it's got the back button. works so similarly, and I had no heads up about what this car was going to drive or feel like. And I sat in it and everything just became so simple. And I really mean that. I literally just kind of knew where everything was without doing any research, I had no idea. And it was really easy. And that, to me, is the sign of a really well put together car. I was instantly impressed with this thing. Firstly, the look of it, it made me want to go into it. And then driving it, it's just so simple. It really is. I looked around the dash. We've got some, I'm not sure what the interior is, but it's very nice. I've had a good play with all the buttons. It really is a simple car to drive. I love the big vents on the outside of the screen just here. All your information is in front of you. In terms of technology, defensive driving and safety, Volvo has always been, you always used to say, oh, there's the Volvo driver, or how safe they are and how a little bit dull they are. I like what this car has done because it's sporty enough. I think it looks pretty good, and the technology is so simple to use. The assistance packages are fantastic, as I just almost forget to keep an eye on what's happening with the roundabouts. The best thing I've found about is the autonomy in driving, in the cruise control. Did you like it as well, Faith? That's okay. Driving around Norwegian windy roads with the cruise control, the radar cruise control, has been an absolute joy. An absolute joy. It has everything. It speeds up, it slows down, it keeps you in lane. All you need to do is nudge the wheel every... My daughter's had enough of me, so I'm going to start closing this up very soon. We've been on uncertain sides of the road, on uncertain roads. Everything's new. I've got my kid in the car, I've got my wife in the car, and I felt really comfortable. I felt like it's safe. I felt like it's easy. I've been able to admire the scenery because some of the driving automation, it just makes it so simple, and it just thinks for you. Is that where tech's going? Yes, it is, but it's just nice to know that there's another brand out there that really put this as a priority. Volvo, I'm really impressed with this. I really am. And when clients come forth and they ask questions now, or they say statements, I can see where they're coming from. Look, this isn't the most sporty and aggressive looking car in the world from the outside, but it's not meant to be. If you've got a family, a young family, and you want to put them in something safe that's still cool, that's got all the tech in the world, that is comfortable and easy to use, then this is all of a sudden right up at the top of the list. And I didn't expect to hear that coming out of my mouth during this review. Really impressive. We've got great friends all over Australia in Volvo, and they've been underutilized, and now I can go back to them and recommend their product. It's really good. This is Luke for the Matthews Group. If you've got any questions, please, I would love to hear them, because this has been quite a surprising ride for me. See you on the next one.